Hi everyone, Irene here from Admin Army with this week's Xero tip. So the tip I'm going to look at today is around using Xero's budget functionality. So as small business owners, we all know that one of the keys to our success is tracking our finances and making sure that we are hitting our milestones. So Xero has built-in budget functionality, which is really useful when it comes to reporting. So to get to Xero's Budget Manager, you can select Reports and Budget Manager. And this brings you to the screen where you are able to set up your initial budget or adjust a budget that you already have in the system. So we can see here there is a Select Budget drop down, so you can add as many budgets as you want. In this instance, we're just going to use the overall budget. And we want the budget to start from the start of this financial year, so April 2018. And we're also going to have 3 months worth of actuals leading into April 2018, where we can pull information from so that we can make sure our budget is relatively accurate. And we want our budget to run for a period of 12 months. But you can adjust any of those. You might want to look at 12 months worth of actuals. What Xero then does, and I'm just going to put this into wide view so we can see it spread out a little bit, is we have here January, February, March of this year, the actuals, and then going, because we're already up to June, Xero is also pulling through the actuals for April, May and June. So there's no point budgeting April, May and June in July. We already know what the actuals are for that. But we can see here, for example, if we look at sales, January, February, March, quite low, but April, May, June, 6,000, 7,000, we anticipate that that's going to carry on. So what we can do is, if you click in the little July 18 box, you can either go into each box individually and enter what you think that budget amount is going to be. If you think that an amount is going to remain relatively stable, you can actually press, you can put in what your number is. So July 18, I think it's going to be 7,000. And I'm going to push this little arrow, and it's going to give me the option to apply a formula. So I can either apply a fixed amount to each month, so that would then populate every month with 7,000. I can adjust by an amount every month. So let's assume I think it's going to increase by $1,000 every month, or you can adjust by a percentage every month. So if I select apply, what Xero has then done, it has populated everything for sales, and it has increased the amount by 1,000 every month. So you can go through and set your budget for every single line item in your system and your profit and loss, and it will give you what you are going to have as your proposed net profit at the end of the year. It's a really good way to see whether you as a precursor to working out a cash flow, to see whether you can, you're going to have the funds available, or whether you want to budget for a high growth year or anything like that. You do have an option where, if you don't like operating in Xero's Budget Manager, that you can actually, and it's hiding down here, you can actually export a copy of this into Excel, which you can then open up, make all of your adjustments in Excel. You might find that a little bit easier, and you then have the option to import that file back into Xero. So there's a template you can download, and you can then browse and upload that, and that will become your budget. So obviously there's no point just putting a budget into the system. You then want to be able to report on it, and if you select the profit and loss report, you will see that there is an option here where for the current month you can do actual versus overall budget. So Xero is going to show you what your actual is, what the budget amount is, and what the variance is. And you can look at that line by line. If it's a negative variance, so if the amount is down, Xero is going to show that as a negative for you and in red. And if it's a positive variance and the amount is in the right way, so you're spending less than you thought you were, it's going to show that in green, because obviously that is a good thing. And you can also, if you don't want to look at that for the current month, you can select any month and select what budget it is that you want to compare that to, as long as you have a budget loaded in Xero for that month. So that is a really brief overview on budgeting. Obviously, it's a little bit more complex like that. If you're working with an accountant, I highly recommend working with your accountant or someone like that to help set your budget, because it is really useful to have someone who isn't so emotionally attached to your business, reviewing your budget and making sure that the numbers are realistic. And accountants are really great when it comes to helping look at those types of figures. So if you have any questions around the budget functionality within Xero, please feel free to let me know in the message in the comments box below or by messaging the Admin Army Facebook page. Otherwise, have a great day and I hope you found this helpful. Awesome, thanks, bye.